Hello Aquarius, and welcome to this little corner of the internet that is Wild Fox Alchemy. If we haven't met before, my name is Maria Gaian and I am an intuitive business success coach and tarot card reader, here to help you to banish the inner blocks that stop you reaching your full potential in your business and to help you to manifest the kind of business that other people only ever dream of. Get your cup of tea, get yourself comfy, and let's have a chat about what's happening this week, the week of September the 20th to the 26th in your business, Aquarius. We start here with the overarching energy for the week, which is Badger Spirit, be fearless and bold. Okay, Aquarius. It's kind of you anyway, isn't it? Where you need to focus your energy is the Emperor, focus and stability. Focus on focus this week, Aquarius. Your strengths and positives, the Eight of Shells, quest and renewal. Possible obstacles, the Seven of Acorns, determination and stamina. And the outcome is awakening, renewal and enlightenment. Okay, so let's have a closer look at this reading then. We've got Badger Spirit talking about being fearless and bold. Now, you're not exactly a shrinking violet there, Aquarius, not in my experience anyway. Most of the Aquarians I know are quite forthright and quite strong. My daughter is an Aquarian, and yeah, she's definitely fearless and bold, bless her heart. She's only 11, but my word, she's a force of nature. So I feel like there's a message here for you to go for what you want this week, Aquarius. There's definitely something that needs to be done where you need to not bury your head under the duvet, but get out there, be fearless, be courageous, and just grab everything with both hands and get on with it. Your energy needs to be focused here on the Emperor. This is about stability, setting rules, setting boundaries. Maybe somebody is making demands of you, Aquarius. They are requesting that you do things that you don't want to do. But you feel maybe because I'm getting told that there's somebody out there that has a baby business. And it is completely a baby business. It's not really making massive amounts of money at this point. Now, this may resonate, it may not. If it does resonate, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. But there is somebody there that has a tendency, because their business is baby, to try to do anything, any work that comes up, because you need the money, or you need something. You need, I don't know, that could even be testimonials or something like that you need. So you've been prepared to do absolutely anything to get it. And that is a common business mistake at the start. There are a lot of gurus out there that will tell you that, you should do absolutely anything to get yourself going, to get yourself moving. I don't actually believe, in my experience, that is true. I've been there and I've done that, and it's ruined my businesses to some extent, because I've been doing that much work that doesn't really create the business that I wanted to create. I'm trying to think of an example now. I have had a business where it was a baby business. I was creating a riding facility for kids with special needs to build self-esteem and confidence through working and playing with horses. But I got asked to do all sorts of weird and wackadoodle things. And because it was a baby business and my overheads were extremely high, I agreed to do a lot of the things. Only I ended up very burnt out. The people that came did not appreciate or value what it was that I was doing. They had no boundaries around what it was, because I think they felt that I was some sort of pushover. And the benefits that I was supposed to get from doing the work that they wanted me to do never actually materialised. So my advice to you now as a coach is to focus on what it is that you really want your business to do. What is your vision for your business? And if somebody comes asking you to do something that isn't really in line with that business, that isn't in line with your values, that isn't in line with what you feel is right or wrong, don't do it. You need to be fearless and bold in setting rules for what you will and won't do, what you will and won't put up with. This equally could be about somebody who's been trolling or criticising or causing a ruckus in a community that you're in. It's time for you to stand up and say no to this. You're not accepting it. Be clear about what you will and won't accept. My daughter has a Twitch stream where she does game development, and she was reviewing some games that had been put into a competition recently. and they'd released who the top 100 games were out of 950 or something like that, and a lot of people were quite salty, and they were being quite rude about some of the other games that had got through to the next stage, and they came on the Twitch stream being quite salty and rude about it. And so my daughter ended up realising that this was not the kind of person she wanted on the Twitch stream. So she's had to write, you know, it feels sad actually that you have to do this, but she's had to write a bunch of rules saying this is not acceptable. I will not tolerate somebody coming in and bad-mouthing somebody else's game. Somebody's put blood, sweat and tears into creating that game, and you're coming along and dissing it purely because you feel like yours was better. And they were being quite personal and quite rude, actually, the people that were doing this stuff. So this is the angle I want you to look at it from. Where are your boundaries? And don't be there pleasing or trying to please everybody else. Stick with your vision for your business. Okay? Because then I feel that, you know, things will happen for you. You can't make a business that's doing one thing over one way and one thing over another way and just responding to the demands of people. Another thing that's just popped into my head is bartering. Have you been asked to barter a service or to offer something cut price, and because it's a baby business you think that you're obliged to do that? You know, maybe there's a lot of people that approach new businesses, especially new people that pop up on the internet. You know, you start your online marketing and they just hone in on you straight away. They know who you are. They know that you perhaps don't know your way around the business world on the internet. So they will say lots of things like, give me your product and I will show it to everybody. I will give you exposure. I've got a bunch of followers, and if you just give me your thing, I'll show it to these followers and off we'll go. Don't do it. Be fearless and say no, because these people never really get you what you want. They're not really true influencers. They just want free stuff, basically. So that's something else that's just come up there. Your strengths. Moving on. Your strengths. The 8 of Shells. This is really, really good, actually. This is you moving away from things that no longer serve you. This is you understanding that you need to do what makes you happy. Now, with this understanding, obviously, you will learn to be fearless and bold. You will learn to put your boundaries in place because you will know what it is that is making you happy. This is also about self-sabotage, this card. It can be about realising that you self-sabotage at times. Some of these things that I've just gone over, you know, with having to set boundaries, doing these things can be a form of self-sabotage because you know it's not right. You know that by doing work for free for somebody that you're preventing yourself having the time and space to do work that is being paid for. So I do feel very much like this is an awareness of where you could be self-sabotaging. But it certainly, for me, feels like a renewal that by setting boundaries, by being fearless and bold, there is a renewal of your energy there. You will feel better. And I'm being drawn to remind you that the starfish, when it loses a limb, can regrow another one. So if something's hurt you or upset you, and you're realising now that you need to set some boundaries, you need to stand up for yourself, you can renew. Don't worry, it's not the end of the world. Your obstacles here are the 7 of Acorns, determination and stamina. Now this makes me think that this could be something that somebody else is doing to undermine you. This is a card where you can feel challenged by critics, by haters. And I feel like this could be what this block is, what this issue is. That you could be feeling at the moment like you can't carry on. That there are too many people out there trying to take advantage. There are too many people out there that are being nasty for being nasty's sake. You know, I mean, at one time it used to be that you could leave feedback for somebody or a review for somebody and you would just go, it wasn't for me, thank you very much, you know, 2 stars. Nowadays, you don't just get that. You don't get, you know, they could have done better if they'd have done this, that and the other, or constructive criticism. You get really personal, nasty, horrible things said that can absolutely eviscerate your confidence. So this is a reminder, this reading, that you don't need to worry about those sorts of people. I'll be quite honest with you now. The kind of people that do that sort of thing, it's about them, it's not about you. There's a lot of envy. Whatever it is that you do triggers them. They suffer from this tall poppy syndrome, where they see you shining and rising and brightening up the world, and they just have to cut you down because they can't stand it. Rather than actually improve their own life, they focus on dragging somebody else down. Don't let that happen. Again, you know, this be fearless and bold message. Have the determination and stamina to keep on going. Unfortunately, in this day and age, you will attract people like this. And actually, it can be a sign of success. You know, the second you know you've got your first hater, your first dislike, your first nasty comment, you know you've hit the mark somewhere. Because, you know, you're getting your message out and it's upset somebody. But don't let it stop you, is what this reading is about. You have to be fearless and bold now. You have to not let a little knockback stop you, even though as a sensitive person, and I know Aquarians are very sensitive, it's very easy to feel knocked back. But put it behind you. Think about all the positive things. I was thinking yesterday about the fact that when I receive positive feedback, I put it all in a document. And when I get nice testimonials, they're all in a folder on my desktop. And so when I feel a bit down, or somebody says, ugh, that really didn't resonate with me, I don't, you know, what's she on about? She's useless, she's this. Or if somebody's just mean for no reason, I go back and I look at that stuff and I think, yeah, for every person that says something terrible, or that makes me feel bad, or that tries to hurt me, there are all these other people that I have done good for, all these things that I have achieved, all these things I've been successful at. And maybe that's something that you could do now. Get your journal out and write down all the things, all the pivotal moments, all the successes, all the achievements that you've made, no matter how small they are. Could be passing a driving test, passing your 100-meter swimming test, selling something to somebody for X amount of money, you know, maybe your first sale, maybe your first really nice testimonial, maybe getting your exams at school. I don't know, something that you've achieved that you feel really good about, so that when these things happen, you can go back and remind yourself of everything that you've achieved and how strong you actually really are, how confident and capable you really are. And it will help to assuage some of this hurt that you might be feeling if somebody's done something that has upset you. So then what do we get? At the end we get the Awakening card. This is the Judgment card actually, which is quite nice, because it's about weighing things up, asking yourself deep questions, but it's also about healing. It's about evaluation and renewal, and it's about going forth with a new purpose. So I think it's a nice message actually, Aquarius. Obviously, if something horrible is happening, if you're being criticised or trolled or having bad reviews, or somebody's just being an unspeakable dick, it does feel hard. And that's not a nice reading. You know, that's not the nice bit. The nice bit is that if you just feel fearless and bold about it, choose to be fearless and bold about it. Now, Spirit is just asking me to address the fact that being fearless and bold does not mean going back at somebody and being on their level, okay? Sometimes Spirit is saying you need to not say anything at all. That the strength and fearlessness and boldness comes from rising above it and not actually saying anything at all back. Just going, thank you, I accept what you're saying, move on. Because quite often that diffuses a situation. I've found with the online world that sometimes the more you try to explain yourself, the more you try to go back at somebody, the worse it gets, and it blows up into a massive drama. So sometimes it's better to just walk away from it, or to leave a response saying, thank you for your comment, I found that very helpful, I appreciate it, have a nice day, and see what happens. When I was working as a therapist, I put an automated post out, and I was absolutely devastated because I got accused by somebody of toxic positivity. That I was trying to make everybody think that you had to go forth and smile even though you were feeling depressed or had mental health issues going on inside. And that wasn't actually what the the post that I'd made had said. I can't remember which one it was now, but it wasn't actually what I'd said. And initially, this person had written such a bitchy comment about it, accusing me of all these things and saying what a terrible person I must be and what a bad therapist I must be. And I felt like just felt like going back and being angry about it. And I thought, no, I'm going to take a couple of hours and think about how I'm going to respond to this and look at whether or not they're right. Did that post come across as promoting toxic positivity? And I looked at it from all angles, and I asked a few other people what they thought about it, and they said, no, we don't really understand where she's got this from, but obviously it had upset her. So I just went back and I said, look, I'm really sorry I've upset you with this statement. It is not my intention to upset anybody, and it certainly isn't my intention to promote toxic positivity. It's not the right thing to do, and as a therapist, I'm horrified that I've upset you and made you think that this is what, you know, the message that you think I'm giving. And then she apologised to me and said, I'm really sorry that I went off like that. She said, actually, you used a word there that my mother used to use when I was a child, and I grew up in a very abusive household, and your use of that particular word triggered me to feel very angry and upset. And she said, I am so sorry that I came across like that to you, because it was mean and it was rude and it was unnecessary. And by the end of the evening, we'd had a conversation about this, and I said, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to change that post a little bit so that it is perhaps more clear what I'm talking about. And it turned out all right in the end. Now, I could have ignored her, and I don't think that would have resolved anything. I would have always have been wondering what on earth she meant, and she would have always have felt badly towards me. I could have gone back equally aggressively and said, you know, blah, 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 that's not what I mean, you're being ridiculous, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. And that would have just degenerated into a complete and utter online farce. But you can be bold and fearless without being aggressive, and just tackle it the way that you feel intuitively it needs tackling. Sometimes we feel so hard done to by things that we feel like we have to respond. You know, if people say things that we know aren't true, or whatever, we feel like we need to respond to that and set the story straight. And then what we don't realise is that what they're doing is baiting us. They want us to start arguing about things, which is a waste of energy and time. So sometimes we have to kind of just suck it up and let it go and think, I'm not going to respond to that. I'm not going to respond to this challenge. I really don't care. I've got to let it go and move on, because otherwise it sucks your energy. There is renewal and enlightenment at the end of this reading. This renewal comes up twice here. Renewal there, renewal there. Okay. I do feel like if you're determined, keep fighting the good fight, is what Spirit just said. Fight the good fight. But base it on intuition. Don't just do what you think you want to do as a gut reaction. You know, you feel like you've been kicked in the teeth, so therefore your reaction is to hit back. Take a little time over it. Sit with your intuition for a while and think about what the right response is if somebody's being mean or trying to undermine your confidence. This, as I said, may not resonate for everybody, but I feel like it's an important message for an Aquarian out there. Somebody needs to hear this. If you enjoyed this reading, please do like, subscribe and share it with somebody that might need to benefit from it today. They might need to hear this, because it is positive in the end. If you are struggling, please do get in touch with me. I am at the other end of an email or in the comments. I will answer any comments and all comments. I'm going to go now and have a cup of tea. It was quite a deep reading, this one, I think, for somebody, and I hope that it's helped. With love and magic always, I'm going to go now. This is Maria Gaian signing out. Have a great week, Aquarius. Be fearless and be bold, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.